Want to bring in Tom Homan now. He's a visiting fellow at the Heritage Foundation and the former acting director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Tom, good afternoon, sir. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Okay. First of all, did you ever expect we'd get to this point where the states are the only ones trying to protect the border and the feds are trying to open it up?
No, it's unbelievable, right? I mean, it's been over 3 years. Now the White House says they're trying to come to some resolution. They're trying to, they want the Republicans to come to the table. But bottom line is they have the plan. Congress passed H.R. 2 months ago. H.R. 2 is proven effective because most of Trump's policies. If they want to secure the border, like they're saying, like the White House spokesman said, they want to secure the border, well, they have H.R. 2 passed by the House, have the Senate pass it, and have the president sign it. But no, I never thought we'd get to the point where we're going to have a state taking on the federal government. But you know what? God bless Greg Abbott. I think he should keep his head down and keep going.
What do you make of 25 Republican governors linking arms with him yesterday and announcing they all support him and they're going to give them state resources to help out with securing the border?
I think it's awesome. Look, again, this isn't just about illegal immigration anymore, right? We got over 112,000 dead Americans in fentanyl. We got over 1,700 dead migrants have crossed the border.
Yes.
We got a record number of no suspected terrorists across the border. We got a record number of gotaways, just shy of 2 million. I mean, we're at the point, this is the biggest national security failure I've seen since 9/11. So I'm glad the states are sticking together and taking the federal government on because they have refused to do their job.
Thanks this week, the Biden administration is under pressure from a variety of Democrat members of Congress, as well as the news media. One reporter very aggressively today in the White House, urging the White House to federalize the Texas National Guard to take them away from Texas in order to aid and abet the opening of America's borders even more. What do you think of this idea?
Well, look, I think the governor should do everything he can. I think Article 1, Section 6 gives us full authority. And look, this administration is not going to shut down the cartel because why? Because the Mexican government is corrupt. The Mexican government is bought off by the cartels. I'm not saying every Mexican official is corrupt. I'm not saying every Mexican military or law enforcement is corrupt, but many of them are. I've worked for 30 years. And the bottom line is the only people that are going to be shut these cartels down and shut the fentanyl down is when President Trump getting back in office, he will take the cartels on. It will have to counter our intelligence program. It's going to count on our special ops program. The only way we're going to take them down is with a strong president, and this president's not going to do it. The president of Mexico, every meeting they have, the president of Mexico is telling Biden what he wants, what he's demanding. Not once have I seen Biden make any demand from the Mexican president.
But the idea that the federal government would take control of Texas's National Guard, under normal circumstances, if a president is to do that at all, it's to restore order, to bring about peace, to protect the country. The idea here seems to be that if Biden takes over the Texas National Guard, it's to allow more illegal foreign nationals to pour across the border.
No, I think that'll be a court fight. I don't think Governor Abbott's going to let them take over the National Guard. I mean, the bottom line is the Governor Abbott is trying to secure the border, not only protect Texas, but protect the United States.
Right.
We're at a point now where we got national security threats coming across that border. So Texas is doing the job the federal government should be doing, that they're supposed to be doing. And like I said, in 3 years, you can't show this administration's done one damn thing to slow the flow. Everything they have done is send more resources to the border to process quicker and release quicker. They haven't done one thing to slow the flow. So I'm glad Governor Abbott's stepping up. I'm glad 20 state governors are with him. And I'm looking forward. I think this will be a battle worth fighting because this is the future of this country. And like I said, the biggest national security failure I've seen in this nation since 9/11. I thought we learned our lesson at 9/11, but apparently a lot of people didn't. So Governor Abbott's doing the right thing. And I told Governor Abbott he needs help. If he needs help on securing the border and he wants some policy help, I volunteer to go out there and do whatever I can to help him. We'll bring the whole Trump team to him to help him.
The Border Patrol unions say that their membership, or at least they actually say that the rank and file of the Border Patrol support Texas. You obviously know a lot of these guys, sir. What is your impression of how the Border Patrol feel about this?
Border Patrol's loving it because they consider Texas DPS a force multiplier. While they took over that one area, Border Patrol was able to release a lot of agents to cover the areas they're not able to patrol. So they're able to catch more of the gotaways. They're able to seize more of the fentanyl because instead of being an Uber driver, instead of being a welcoming committee and a tourist agent, what Texas does is actually more of the Border Patrol agents hit the front line. The line agents with the United States Border Patrol is 100% behind the governor of Texas.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. This week, there was a letter released by a variety of former FBI, Homeland Security, and law enforcement officials, indicating that they think the threats to the country right now because of the southern border are as extreme as they've seen them. You've been talking about how this is the biggest threat since 9/11 in your view. Do you think many people who understand the national security of our country share that view who work for the government now?
Absolutely. I've been calling a national security crisis for over 2 years, and I'm glad that FBI agents came forward to say the same thing. You know, the bottom line is, Border Patrol, here's what the listeners need to know. The Border Patrol arrested people from 181 different countries. Some of these countries are sponsored for terror. Right. Again, they arrested over 300 trying to sneak into the country on the southern border alone. So how many just shy of 2 million people come from the country sponsoring terror? If you think it's zero, then you're a moron not paying attention to the data. Again, no one can convince me terrorist cells haven't crossed that wide open border. Why would they take a chance on trying to get a visa or airline ticket like 9/11 terrorists did when they know they're going to be vetted? There's a lot of vetting programs now. When you can simply go to Mexico, pay the cartels a little bit extra money, and be one of those 1.9 million gotaways.
There was a bill that was being negotiated in the Senate that apparently earlier this week was killed because of pressure from the former and perhaps future president of the United States, Donald Trump. The idea here is that there was an amnesty bill being worked up in the Senate, a bill designed to hamstring a future Trump administration from getting control of the border. That effort has apparently been killed. How relieved were you to hear that?
I'm very relieved. But I think President Trump understands that what the Biden administration wants is just more money to send more billions of dollars to the NGOs to transport people all over the United States. President Trump understands this is not a money issue; it's a policy issue. So I thank President Trump for stepping in here, because I think he's got a lot of influence over a lot of people on Hill I think are weak. Look, we got Senate Republicans negotiating with Alejandro Mayorkas. That's like negotiating with an arsonist how to put out a fire, for God's sakes. Yeah. So, God bless President Trump for stepping up and making his influence known, because I think I think we're at the point where if they're not willing to shut the border down and pass H.R. 2 in the Senate, then shut it down. At what point? How many dead Americans do we got to have? How many dead migrants do we got to have? How many known-suspected terrorists do we got to have until we say enough's enough and take a stand?
When you say shut it down, do you think that they should stop funding the government entirely until this border gets secured?
Yes. Yeah. And President Trump did it once before, and I tell you what, we're at the point now, again, a big national security issue. I'm telling you, at what point do we take a stand and tell this administration, you know how to shut this border down? All you got to do is dust off the Trump policies. Put the Remain in Mexico program back in. The highest court in the land says that's legal. Don't, unabolish the third safe country agreement and stop catch and release. The federal law clearly says, under Title 8, an arriving alien without proper documentation shall be detained. Not maybe, not we'll think about it, shall. Stop catch and release, put the Remain in Mexico program back in, and that'd be a game changer for this administration. Force them to do it.
Lastly, sir, and again, Tom Homan, thank you as always for your time. On your concern about the threats, I do find myself worrying each day, unfortunately, that I hope that headline doesn't come through that we were just subjected to a major terror attack by virtue of this open border. But it does feel like with each passing day we get closer to that. How concerned are you about that?
I'm very concerned. I've done this for, 35 years. I've never been more scared, and I mean that, scared about the safety and security of this nation than I am right now.
Tom Homan, man who's served and very well in the immigration mission of the United States, and will do it again if given the opportunity very soon. Tom Homan, thank you very much, sir. Good to talk to you today.
Thank you.
All right. That's, again, Tom with the Heritage Foundation and the former acting director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Now,